Greater light. Greater light. I'm trying to be in one of them good bubbly moods that I'm normally in. Um, kind of not feeling it with all that he and kiki and let me share this tab. I ain't with too much of the kiki and he and I got a smile on my face because I know what time it is, but I just don't like how they're going in the Federal Register because, again, this stuff was already written and we know the time is coming. But when they start messing with the children, that's where the smiling and kikiing starts to go. And what they're about to release in the Federal Register for so-called the 14th, which y'all know what that pagan holy holla whatever day that is they acting like it has to do with the refugees, and it doesn't. I'm going to show you in a minute. I feel like I want to go ahead and read Hosea. I know it says it looks like Hosea in the description, but and it is Hosea, but all the years that they taught us that meant Hosea, I feel like I want to save that for last. I usually start off and read it at the beginning, but let me go into my affirmation. That way I can stay poised, calm, and serene throughout this reading. My mind is God's mind. You can say this with me if you choose to, or you could say it separately at another time and say that I'm not saying my mind. You can say my mind. My mind is God's mind. I'm always reflecting divine wisdom and divine intelligence. You are a reflection of God. I am a reflection of the image of God. My brain symbolizes the capacity to think wisely and spiritually. God's ideas unfold within my mind in perfect sequence. I'm always poised, balanced, serene, and calm because I know that God will always provide the perfect solution for all of my needs. Amen. Amen. All right, here we go. Let's get back over here to Federal Register. Can you see the screen? Whoever that is here with me, if you could see that screen, right? And I didn't go to that one first. I did, but I didn't read through because I wanted to see exactly what it was connected to. And it's scheduled for publication on the 14th. But what's connected to it is this one. Is it this one? This one. This one right here. This one right here is for everybody. And I know anytime I nag about something, and sometimes I don't know why, and the reason, and it may not have to do with one particular individual. It's just that it's in my system to nag about it, and that person or individual just might happen to be in my zone for me to be saying it towards them. So, as I said before, I remember my massage therapy teacher also saying when the time comes, when all this stuff starts to unfold towards the end, even those who, like if you're on any type of substance, will be prone to be incarcerated into their camps, or they're like being put under arrested developments. So ever since August, I've been saying to everybody that I know, there's a reason why they made it so easy for everybody to smoke now. At all the states, it's like, oh yes, go ahead. You legal, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. It's a substance. And the thing about the substances that they're putting on top of the substances is where they're going to catch people. When it's time, if they can't get you on one form of arrest, they're going to find other forms. And that's what they're doing. They're covering all of their grounds when it's time to entrap beings into the Gog and Magog programs, which is just Gog and Gog, but Ma is the center of it. Their Ma. And their Ma is related to Nab, and it's the IPA, the IAS, the PIAS, and the SIAS. I know it's to somebody brand new listening. You would have to go back at least 4 or 5, maybe 6, maybe 10 of the live streams to kind of catch up with where I'm at right now. Or you could go to Federal Register and check this stuff out for yourself. Okay, so in light of the years, and it's just around COVID time where it was just going all across the board. Okay, yep, you could smoke, you all willy-nilly, and everybody just all good with it, all online, rolling up. And it's like, okay, all right, but where's the catch? And I kept saying it, and then every time I come in to clean up, just stop. It shouldn't be that hard. Just quit, because it's just quit. Same way like me, stopping the meats. Quit the meats and the cheese and the milks. You see everything. Just stop. Go back to certain ways that the Bible told us about our health and stuff for real, because these are the things they're going to use to attack. It's like, like feeding the pig for slaughter, food for the gods. Just give them whatever, give them, let them go. Yep, that's good. Get it. And then when it's time, they ready to slaughter you and put you on the grill. Now, this substance abuse disorder patient record rule they're about to drop on the 16th is connected to this agency information collection activities, proposals, submissions, and approvals, risk determinations, and hearing for unaccompanied children. Yeah, it is. And not only is it connected to that, it's also connected to all of the safety zones that they're about to put out. The one safety zone that I was focused on was the Turkey Point, Biscayne Bay, 1,000-yard, and however many square feet safety zone military test that they're about to drop for the rest of the year. What does that mean? I know it just sound all jumbled up, y'all. It sounds jumbled up. But everything that they're doing is all connected. It's it's connected to revelation. It's connected to end times. It's connected to, okay, I'm gonna stop. Ooh, my body heating up. I still had a heater on. Hold on, let me turn this. I thought I was all right. I still got the heater on. That's what it is. Hold on. Whew. I thought I turned this thing off a long time ago. Nope. I thought the heater was on. The heater ain't on. I thought it's not the heater. Oh well. All right. Well, let me go ahead and click this link right here. Unpublished to be published on 14th. Published to be published on the 14th. And like I said, it looked like they speaking of like refugees coming across the border, and it's refugees right here. They're considering the children that will be at risk when they hone in on the SUDS rule, that they're covered. You see? I'm not going to read it. If I'm just letting you know that it's about that to take place. And for those who think that it's not connected to the CARE SUDS Act or rule that they're about to throw down, they had this rule done in 2022, but they had to change coverage about it and do a lot of tweaking in order for it to work. Right here. $485 pages before it show up. If I'm, yep, 485 pages. Right? And it looked like a lot to read, but it's not a lot to read. That name right there, see that last name right there? I don't know if anybody remember the story, and I told you about the doctor when I was in North Carolina. That's his last name, the African doctor, who he kept asking me, he said, "Are you sure you don't remember me? You sure you haven't met me before?" And then I'm saying in my mind, yeah, I know I met you somewhere before, but I'm saying it to my mind, but to him, I'm shaking my head, no. And then he gave me, I'm talking about for the last me a whole year, some dog tranquilizing medicines. And you know where they at? They still up there in North Carolina. I swear I'm not making it up. I can't make this up. I can't make it up. But this last name right here, I don't know if she related to him. I know that that could be an African name. And I know the last encounter I had with any doctor was with that name right there. And if I'm not exaggerating, I'm not making it up. He asked me, and he wanted to make sure. He said, "You sure you don't remember me?" I'm like, I couldn't pinpoint it, but I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Why is that the most important thing right now? This is my first time here at any doctor up here. But anyways, this right here, the Substance Act. Look how many places they make sure they covered on all parts. Anywhere they got to get information to find out if you using any type of substance, so they could come on in and investigate and throw you in whatever safety zone camps that may have to come under effect in the time of trouble. They could come in and come through. So I'm so glad my last 3 hospital visits, the last 3, there ain't nothing in my system. Now they could check it. Ain't even no meat in my system. Ain't even no meat juices. I'm just saying. Now, how can I be so sure that I'm giving you correct information and I'm just not making the most of the notes? Here we go. Co-pilot agreed with me. I asked co-pilot in 3 different types of ways. I said, co-pilot, look, time for you to stop playing around and acting like you the man when you ain't. Where's Bing? I asked him where Bing at again. I'm going to ask him again and let y'all hear his response. Where's Bing? Wait a minute. Oh, it's people here with me. Greater light. Who is here? Let me see if I can guess who it is before I... Is it you, King Ellis? King Ellis. Wait, like I said yesterday, Chief Engineer Dushawa been floating around. He's back on the scene. Is it you? Like, nope. Can't a dummy. Oh, no. And then I got a hello from some copper tone or something earlier. It might be. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe it's somebody brand new, ready to hit the comments. 1, 2, 3. Double joint. What? It's Chief Engine. Oh, double joint. Oh yeah, yep. Okay. Great light, Chief Engine Dushawa. Must be serious. I got to be serious. I see flat powers all at airports and stuff. They having big meetings, huh? I see I see advertisements for nights and stuff. I say they battling, gathering Gog and Magog. Good to see you over here, Double Joint. Anyways, I said, look, let me ask co-pilot where Bing at before I get started. Let y'all hear his response. What they did with Bing. I shouldn't have never even told that she was saved. Where is Bing? Let's see what he got to say. Oh, he's sending me to a whole new website. He said, if I want to find Bing. Oh, Bing got her own .com now. my goodness. Well, anyways, I asked Copilot, I said, look, Copilot, explain the substance use disorder criminalization law that is about to take effect in the Federal Register. He says, substance use disorder, which is SUD. You need a sudsy SUD bath. SUD. SUD criminalization law is a term that refers to the legal and social consequences of using, possessing, or distributing substances that are considered illegal or controlled by the government. Look at the twist. Look at the twist in that. Illegal or controlled by the government. That sounds so oxymoronified. Wait a minute. I'll just slow it one more time. Explain the SUD criminalization law that is about to take effect in Federal Register. The substance use disorder criminalization law is a term that refers to the legal and social consequences of using, possessing, or distributing substances that are considered illegal or controlled by the government. These laws vary state by state and country, yeah, but they often involve harsh penalties such as fines, imprisonment, or loss of civil rights. What? You mean to tell me the new SUDs up under the CARES Act, they saying we care about you and we care that the SUD effect will help or hurt your civil rights? Yeah, that's what it say. No. Okay, let me roll it down so you could go and read it for yourself if you want to. You could go and read it for yourself if you want to. They pretending that you're gonna have confidentiality, but when you keep on reading, the Federal Register is the official journal of the U.S. government that publishes proposed and final rules. This comes under a rule. Okay? One of the recent documents published in the Federal Register is a notice of proposed rulemaking to modify the regulations to implement Section 3221 of the CARES Act. This is coming up under the CARES Act, y'all. This SUD patient records is coming up under the CARES Act. What is the CARES Act? When they released the corona over the people. And I said, this is not for the children of God. I'm telling you. Now the love and light of Christ who can heal anything and anybody. And it could get rid of that where when they release those frequencies that I showed y'all that they're going to be releasing soon, the new television power, whatever, it won't be able to attach to your DNA and mark you up and code you up. Start drinking plenty water, clean your system. I'm telling you. Clean your system, especially y'all who have children. Clean your system. I remember when I was saying this last year. Why was I kept on, and then I got real serious about it, and I got a witness throughout that lives in the community with y'all. I said, if you just for 30 days, you'll see what I'm saying. Just clean out, I'm telling you. Then once you start cleaning out, you ain't gonna want to go back because you're gonna see what they doing. And here it is. They done dropped it. Okay, listen. Section 3221 of the CARES Act aims to improve the coordination of care and reduce barriers to access for patients with SUD by aligning confidentiality rules for SUD patient records with health insurance portability and all that, right? But guess what? This one that he was reading to me was from 2022. So I went in and I said, no, I need you to explain the new rule, the final rule that they're about to release, and what negative impact it will have against civilians who are described as substance users. So then he says, and he still threw in December 2nd, 2022. And I'm telling him, like, no, I'm looking at a new current one that's about to be released on Valentine's Day, Valentino celebration. They deity God who probably taken that heart of the matter and taking it is the final piece that they need to raise their demon devil. So he says the final rule aims to improve, and I was like, no, because you're reading to me something from 2022. So I asked him again, and this time I put the date in there. I said, explain the Federal Register sub final rule to be released February 14, 2024, and the negative impact it will have against civilians who are described as substance users. And then he said, the Federal Register sub final rule is a regulation that modifies the confidentiality rule for substance use disorders patient records to align them with the hippopotamus privacy rule. The final rule was published by the Department of Health and Human Services on February 8, 2024. That means they already finalized the rule and they just bringing it to everybody's attention for Valentine's Day. And will take effect on the later date. He ain't even putting where I can see the final date that they putting it, but he obviously can't see it. So here, the final rule will have negative impacts on civilians who are described as substance users, such as increased risk of stigma, discrimination, and criminalization. The final rule may expose patients with SUD to more judgment, bias, and prejudice from healthcare professionals and others who have access to their records. The final rule may also make patients with SUD more vulnerable to legal action, such as prosecution, incarceration, or loss of custody based on their substance use history. Now, this isn't no one person here. When they're getting ready to do a sweep, decrease trust. The final rule may undermine the trust of patients with SUD who may feel less comfortable disclosing their substance use or seeking treatment, fearing that their information will be shared without their consent and knowledge. The final rule may also erode the therapeutic relation between patients with SUD and their providers, who may be seen as potential sources of harm rather than help. Reduce quality and availability of care. The final rule may compromise the quality and availability of care for patients with SUD who may face more barriers than accessing evidence-based, patient-centered, and culturally competent treatment. The final rule may also discourage providers from offering accepting SUD services due to increased administrative burden, liability risk, or ethical dilemma. Now, that is just the half of it because it's 485 pages of what they need to cover through Sam Husser. Sam Husser. See right here? Sam Husser. But I decided to make sure here, right here, back. That you understand that this isn't about people who smoke. This isn't about people with substance use disorders. This is about people with substance use disorders with children. And they're making sure that that is a patient care terminology under the CARES Act, SUD, because this is directly connected to that act. Risk determining hearings for unaccompanied children. So now, just because I know how I could be, I asked this being once again, I said, is SUD rule connected to the Safety Zone rules and the Unaccompanied Children Determination Act? It's not directly connected to the Safety Zone rule or the Unaccompanied Children Determination Act, but they are all related to the federal policies and regulations regarding immigration and health care. Okay. The safety rules are a set of guidelines issued by the Department of Homeland Security to limit the enforcement actions of immigration and customs enforcement in certain sensitive locations. Here we go. I knew the church was going to pop up somewhere, such as schools, hospitals, places of worship, and public demonstrations. Public demonstrations ain't no place. That's the people. But this is what they saying. They are certain and sensitive to locations such as schools, hospitals, places of worship, and public demonstrations. Now, didn't I tell y'all when they released that TV power frequency that's supposed to hit on geographical points from Miami to New York to Los Angeles, that in that rule and all those instructions in those rules, it said that they will be eliminating the word. The word is obsolete. Certain visuals is obsolete. Certain terms that matched oral frequency is obsolete. And the curvature of the earth is not necessary in their projected frequency release that they're about to do. The safety zone rules are intended to protect the rights and safety of immigrants and communities and to ensure access to essential services and humanitarian assistance. So see that safety zone, this one right here? Let me go to that safety zone that I've been playing for y'all the past few days. You mean to tell me that safety zone is a protection, from Turkey Point to Bayside? That's a protection? Let me see if I can find it. Elimination of tribal share, non-fund federal share requirements. Somebody was talking about that yesterday. I was talking about this one yesterday. They're going to make sure the Eagles are protected for the frequencies and stuff they're about to release. Hold up. Was it under a rule or under the 13 rules? Airworthiness, safety. This one right here. This is the one that I ended up being focused on. Because I am familiar with these areas. I grew up in these areas. I lived in these areas, not for no little short time. This is what I know. So when I see that, it might be another safety zone somewhere in Ohio. I don't know nothing about Ohio. I've traveled through, but that don't have nothing to do with me. They probably got safety zones for the military test that they're about to do in continuation with their research and development on humans through Solomon's house, through the Royal Society, through spiritual wickedness in high places and all that that is related to Revelation. I know about these areas because this is what I'm familiar with. Sound like FEMA to me. Talking about Homestead Air Force Base, Turkey Point Power Plant. No. Who doing the testing in the safety zone? What is they safety zoning out there at the homestead? Every time they talk about safety zones, when they did the safety zones back when they was doing the atomic bombs, remember? No person or vessel will be permitted to enter the safety zone without obtaining permission. But here, co-pilots say the safety zone is an area where they're going to be housing people and humanitarian assistance. Make up your mind. The Unaccompanied Children Determination Act has proposed legislation that would amend the Immigration and Nationality. See, not just for the Refugees, Nationality Act to provide those who say they are native to the land. Those who decide, nope, I don't want what Jesus got. I don't want to be saved. I'm good. I don't believe that he's coming back. Nope, I don't want no love and light. No, he is not returning. No, I'm not a native of the kingdom of heaven. No, I'm not a citizen of God's kingdom. I'm native to the land. You being native to the land, that's you going to be interacted and interluded into the Nationality Act that they got going on at their safety zone. The Immigration and Nationality Act to provide uniform definition of unaccompanied children for immigration purposes. The act would also establish a process of determining the best interests of the child and appropriate placement and care for unaccompanied children in the custody of the Department of Health and Human Services. Can't be talking about refugees. You mean to tell me they already, oh yeah, they already get defects. They get defects. See, they doing a notice of enforcement. This is a word, enforcing. Who all is involved in this safety zone enforcing that they're about to do? With the presence of a military helicopter with an insignia. The U.S. Army, the U.S. Air Force, the U.S. Navy, and the U.S. Marine. They all gathering at the Homestead Air Force Base at Turkey Point on Bay Scones, Biscaya. And this is under an executive order. This ain't no rinky-dinky law. It's a rule under the executive order. Now, the SUD rule is a regulation that modifies the confidentiality rule for substance use disorder patient records to align them with the HIPAA rule. The rule affects the sharing information among the healthcare providers, payers, and entities involved in the treatment, payment, and healthcare operations. You, under the CHIPS Act law, under the CARES Act, under the SUD, is considered a patient. When CHIPS Act was released, CHIPS Act and their patient waiver made you're no longer a person, you're a patient. So the healthcare operations of patients with SUD while maintaining appropriate safeguards and patient choice. These three policies or regulations may have implications for the health and well-being of immigrants, especially those who are undocumented, have SUD, or are unaccompanied children. For example, the safety zone rules may protect immigrants with SUD from being detained or deported by ICE when they seek treatment at a healthcare facility. The Unaccompanied Determination Act may ensure that unaccompanied children with SUD receive appropriate care and services in accordance to their best interest. This is if you accept the mark of the beast. The SUD rule may affect the availability and admissibility of SUD patient records in immigration proceedings, as well as the protection of patients' rights and privacies. That's enough of that. I'm going to play this little song right here, and then I'm going to get on over to Hosea. Huh? You see the no here? They said no, no, and I'm saying ho. And if you want, you could call me. You could say, hey, ho. You can. Because now I know what ho means. They kept telling me, say ho, 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 when I was out there ringing the bell. I said, I don't believe in Santa Claus, so I can't say ho, ho, ho. But now I'm going to say ho. Huh? Jesus is on the way. Ho, ho, ho. Huh? Jesus is on the way. Hosea. Huh? Hosea. Jesus is coming back. Huh? Yes, sir. Here we go. Here we go. Let me put that in here. Is this the one I want?
The COTP is proposing to establish a safety zone that will be enforced 8-12 times per year. Homestead turkey points on Bayside East. Homestead turkey points on Bayside East. The safety zone would cover all navigable waters within a 1,000-yard radius of the center point in 2528 506 W8013 84-2 in the Biscayne Bay, located approximately 1,000 yards northeast of the Turkey Point Power Plant in Homestead. Homestead turkey points on Bayside East. Homestead turkey points on Bayside East. The duration of the zone would be identified prior to each military training exercise to ensure the safety of persons and vessels in navigable waters before, during, and after the scheduled times for the exercise. Turkey Point stand down till 4 and 4,000 pick up their crowns. No person or vessel would be permitted to enter the zone without obtaining permission from the COTP or a designated. Duration of the zone would be identified prior to each military training exercise to ensure the safety of persons and vessels in navigable waters before, during, and after the scheduled times for the exercise. Keep asking to point, stand down until 1, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14. The duration of the zone would be identified prior to each military training exercise to ensure the safety of persons and vessels in navigable waters before, during, and after the scheduled times for the exercise. Turkey Point, stand down until 4,000 pick up their crown. No person or vessel would be permitted to enter the safety zone without obtaining permission from the COTP or a designated representative. Turkey Point stand down until 4,000 pick up their crown. No person or vessel will be permitted to enter the safety zone without obtaining permission.
All right. Now I'm going to read Hosea. And it's something that I saw in Hosea that I wanted to emphasize before I get started. I highlighted, I'm planning to read from 7 to 11. Hosea 7 to 11. But I remember a few years back, I said it, and I say it every now and then, but I said, how come every time it gets to Egypt, when it's time for everybody to come out of Egypt, everything gets stood still. And I said, the reason why James Jeans and them and those of the Royal Society came up with their strategic plan to block Dr. Malachi Z. York when they did is because they knew that he was going to bring everyone out of Egypt. Every time it's time to come out of Egypt, it's always something. Huh? And this verse right here in Hosea 7, Hosea 11, verse 10. For the people shall walk after the Lord. He will roar as a lion at their enemies. And my people shall return trembling from the west. Like a flock of birds, they will come from Egypt. Like a flock of birds, they will come from Egypt. Which way is the west? Which way is the west? Reverse, reverse. I'm just saying. And I will bring them home again, as if it is a promise from the Lord. What? That sounds like a prophecy. That don't sound like back then. It sounds like something to come. Let me go ahead and read. Let me go ahead and read. And why did I say ho? I asked, what's his name? Co-pilot. I said, as I'm looking at the word Hosea, I said, what is the esoteric meaning of ho? The root word of ho and the etymology of ho. The esoteric meaning of ho is a complex and multifaceted topic. As the name ho has different origins and interpretations, the different cultures and traditions. However, one possible way to approach this question is to look at the etymology and symbolism of the name ho and some of its historical linguistic context. So according to one source, the name ho traces its roots to ancient Mesopotamia, where it was derived from the Sumerian word ho, which means to rise, to ascend. And you know what? My granddaddy that raised us, he wasn't biologically connected to us, but he might as well have been, because he sure would take his hands and help raise us. And he would say before he go, he made biscuits, but then sometimes he will make a whole cake of bread. Whole cake of bread. I like a whole cake of bread. I don't know then what it meant, but it was good to eat. My granddaddy made homemade biscuits and homemade whole cake of bread. He'd get that buttermilk. Yeah, my granddaddy used to throw down on some bacon. But ho meaning to rise or to ascend. This word reflects the aspirations and ambitions associated with the name ho, as well as the potential of spiritual elevation and enlightenment. Another source suggests that the name ho is a variant of the interjection ho, which is an exclamation of surprise, attention, or demand. The interjection dates back to the 14th century. It was originally a cry of boatmen, the seamen, the men on the sea, announcing departures for a particular destination. When my granddaddy used to stop on his bike, he say, "Oh, huh?" And I'm looking at this picture of the man that is potentially my grandmother's father, because according to her, he was the only one on the island with a donkey cart. And if my mama look at this picture, I'm pretty sure she say that look just like my grandma. My grandma is just that dark. Her cheekbones is just that high. Her lips look just like that. As a matter of fact, that look like that could be my grandma without hair. Huh? If you shave his mustache. I'm just saying. No, when they stop the donkey carts, they say, "Oh, oh." The third indicates that the name Ho is short for Chinese surname He, river or harmony. See, I noticed that all of these are connected to water or sending. Now I will proudly say, ho, 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 ho. This surname was one of the oldest and most common in China. It has various origins and legends associated with it. The name Ho in this context may also signify connection to nature, water, and peace. So that is why I said what I said about Ho. Because I saw Ho see, and instead of seeing Hosea, I saw Ho see. That's what I see. Ho see. Now I'm going to read Hosea 7. Israel is like a crooked bow. I wanted to forgive Israel, but her sins were far too great. No one can even live in Samaria without being a liar, a thief, and a bandit. You mean Israel was living in Samaria? Her people never seem to recognize that I am watching them. Their sinful deeds give them away on every side. I see them all. The king is glad about their wickedness. The princes laugh about their lies. See, it sounds like today. Like I said, Hosea sounds like all prophecy. The spiritual wickedness in high places, they laughing. They are all adulterers. As baker's oven is constantly aflame, except after he kneads the dough and waits for it to arise again. So are these people constantly aflame with lust. On the king's birthday, the princes get him drunk. He makes a fool of himself and drink with those who mock him. Their hearts blaze like a furnace with intrigue. Their plot smolders through the night, and in the morning it flames forth like raging fire. They kill their kings one after another, and none cries out to me for help. My people mingle with the heathen, picking up their evil ways. Thus, they become as good for nothing as a half-baked cake. Ain't that something? I was thinking about my granddaddy and his whole cake of bread and all that. Worshipping foreign gods as has sapped their strength, but they don't know it. Ephraim's hair is turning gray, and he doesn't even realize how weak and old he is. His pride and other gods have openly condemned him, yet he doesn't return to his God, not even to try to find him. Ephraim is a silly, witless dove calling to Egypt, flying to Assyria. But as she flies, I throw my net over her and bring her down like a bird from the sky. I will punish her for all her evil ways. Woe to my people for deserting me. Let them perish, for they have sinned against me. I wanted to redeem them, but their hard hearts would not accept the truth. They lie there sleepless with anxiety, but won't ask my help. Instead, they worship heathen gods, asking them for crops and for prosperity. I have helped them and made them strong, yet now they turn against me. They look everywhere except to heaven, to the Most High God. They are like a crooked bow that always misses targets. Their leaders will perish by the sword, the enemy of their insolence to me, and all Egypt will laugh at them. Sound the alarm, they're coming like a vulture. Is that what Can Dummy meant? The enemy descends upon the people of God because they have broken my treaty and revolted against my laws. Now Israel pleads with me and says, help us, for you are our God. But it is too late. Israel has thrown away her chance with contempt, and now her enemies will chase her. She has appointed kings and princes, but not with my consent. They have cut themselves off from my help by worshiping idols that they made from their silver and gold. Samaria, I rejected this calf, this idol you made. My fury burns against you. How long will it be before one honest man is found among you? When will you admit this calf you worship was made by human hands? It is not God. Therefore, it must be smashed to bits. They have sown the wind, and they will reap the whirlwind. Their corn stalks stand there barren, withered, sickly, with no grain, and it has any foreigners will eat it. Israel is destroyed. She lies among the nations as broken pot. She is a lonely, wandering wild ass. The only friends she has are those she hires. Assyria is one of them. But though she hires friends from many lands, I will send her off to exile. Then for a while, at least, she will be free from the burden of her wonderful king. Ephraim has built many altars, but they are not to worship me. They are altars of sin. Even if I gave her 10,000 laws, she'd say they weren't for her. That they applied to someone far away. Her people love ritual of their sacrifice, but to me, it is meaningless. I will call for an accountant for their sins and punish them. They shall return to Egypt. Israel has built great places. Judah has constructed great defenses for her cities, but they haven't forgotten their maker. Therefore, I will send down fire upon those places and burn those fortresses. O Israel, rejoice no more as others do, for you have deserted your God and sacrificed to other gods on every threshing floor. Therefore, your harvest will be small. Your grapes will blight upon the vine. You may no longer stay here in this land of God. You will be carried off to Egypt and Assyria, and live there on scraps of food. There, far from home, you are not allowed to pour out wine for sacrifice to God. For no sacrifice that is offered there can please him. It is polluted, just as food for mourners is. All who eat such sacrifices are defiled. They may eat this food to feed themselves, but may not offer it to God. What then will you do for holy days, on days of feasting for the Lord, when you are carried off to Assyria as slaves? Who will inherit your possessions left behind? Egypt will. She will gather your dead. Memphis will bury them, and thorns of thistles will grow upon their ruins. The time of Israel's punishment has come. The day of recompense almost here, and soon Israel will know it all too well. See, they know it from time after time after time after time. The prophets are crazy. The inspired men are mad. Yeah, so they mock. For the nation is weighed with sin and shows only hatred for those who love God. I appointed the prophets to guard my people, but the people have blocked them at every turn and publicly declared their hatred, even in the temple of the Lord. These things my people do are depraved as what they did in Gibeah long ago. The Lord does not forget. He will surely punish them. O Israel, how will I remember those first delightful days when I led you through the wilderness? How refreshing was your love. How satisfying, like the early figs of summer in their first season. But then you deserted me for Baal Peor to give yourselves to other gods. And soon you were as foul as they were. The glory of Israel flies away like a bird, for your children will die at birth, or perish in the womb, or never even be conceived. And if your children grow, I will take them from you. All are doomed. Yes, it will be a sad day when I turn away and leave you alone. In my vision, I have seen the sons of Israel doomed. The fathers are forced to lead their sons to slaughter. O Lord, what shall I ask for your people? I will ask for wombs that don't give birth, for breasts that cannot nourish. All their wickedness began in Gilgal. There I began to hate them. I will drive them from my land because of their idolatry. I will love them no more, for all their leaders are rebels. Ephraim is doomed. The roots of Israel are dried up. She shall bear no more fruit. And if she gives birth, I will slay even her beloved child. My God will destroy the people of Israel because they will not listen or obey. They will be wandering Jews, homeless among the nations. How prosperous Israel is, a luxuriant vine all filled with fruit. But the more wealth I give her, the more she pours it on altars of her heathen gods. The richer the harvest I give her, the more beautiful and statues and idols she erects. The hearts of her people are false toward God. They are guilty and must be punished. God will break down their heathen altars and smash their idols. Then they will say, we deserted the Lord and he took away our king. But what's the difference? We don't need one anyway. They make promises they don't intend to keep. Therefore, punishment will spring up among them like poisonous weeds in the furrows of the field. The people of Samaria tremble lest their calf god idols, and Beethoven's shouldn't be hurt. The priests and people too mourn over the departed honor of their shattered gods. This idol, this calf god thing, will be carted with them when they go as slaves to Assyria, a present to the great king there. Ephraim will be laughed at for trusting in the chip and the wood upon an ocean. Hold up. Ephraim will be laughed at for trusting this idol. Israel will be put to shame. As for Samaria, her king will disappear like a chip of wood upon an ocean wave. The idol and the idol altars of Avon, and Bethel, where Israel's sin will crumble. Thorns and thistles will grow up around them, and the people will cry to the mountains and to the hills to fall upon them and crush them. O Israel, ever since the awful night in Gibeah, there has been only sin, sin, sin. You have made no progress whatever. Was it not right for the men of Gibeah were wiped out? I will come against you for your disobedience. I will gather armies of nations against you to punish you for your heaped up sins. Ephraim is accustomed to treading out the grain, an easy job she loves. I have never put her under a heavy yoke before. I have spared her tender neck, but now I will harness her to the plow and harrow. Her days days of ease are gone. Plant the good seeds of righteousness, and you will reap a crop of my love. Plow the hard ground with your hearts, for now is time to seek the Lord, that he may come and shower salvation upon you. But you have cultivated wickedness and raised the thriving crop of sins. You have earned a full reward of trusting in a lie, believing that military might and great armies can make a nation safe. Therefore, the terrors of war shall rise among your people, and all your forts will fall, just as at Beth Arbel, which Solomon destroyed. Even mothers and children were dashed to death there. That will be your fate too, you people of Israel, because of your great wickedness. In the morning, the king of Israel shall be destroyed. I'm reading for the Old Testament, y'all. This is the Old Testament read. Because I remember when I used to be over there, what's his name? Torah channel. His people would come in the chat, his moderators, and be like, yeah, here comes some sinful New Testament believer. I'm reading from the Old Testament. I'm just saying. God's love for Israel. When Israel was a child, I loved him as a son and brought him out of Egypt. But the more I called him, the more he rebelled, sacrificing to Baal and burning incense to idols. I trained him from infancy. I taught him to walk. I talked with him and held him in my arms. But he doesn't know or even care that it was I who raised him. As a man would lead his favorite ox, so I led Israel with my ropes of love. I loosened his muzzle so he could eat. I myself have stooped and fed him. But my people shall return to Egypt and Assyria because they won't return to me. War will swirl among their cities. Their enemies will crash through their gates and trap them in their own fortresses. For my people are determined to desert me. And so I have sentenced them to slavery, and no one shall set them free. Oh, how I can give you up, my Ephraim. How can I let you go? How can I forsake you like Admah and Zebulun? My heart cries out with me. How long? How long to help you? No, I will not punish you as much as my fierce anger tells me to. This is the last time I will destroy Ephraim. For I am God and not man. I am Holy One living among you, and I did not come to destroy. For the people shall walk after the Lord. I shall roar as a lion at their enemies, and my people shall return trembling from the west, like a flock of birds. They will come from Egypt, like doves flying from Assyria, and I will bring them home again. It is a promise from the Lord. Israel surrounds me with lies and deceit, but Judah still trusts in God and is faithful to the Holy One. See that? Do you see Hosea 11 distinguishes the Israel and the Israel of Judah and the Israel? It's a whole distinguished, like you can't even halfway get confused about what God is saying right here. So I just read from you. You can read it for yourself. Don't believe me. Check it out. Hosea 7 to 11. I knew the 7-11 meant something. Ho, ho, ho. Now I say ho, ho, ho with pride, huh? Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christ. Merry Christ. Jesus 365 days of the year. Now I don't even feel like going over this image here, huh? Let me share this. I don't even feel like going over and reading this book right now. I just read enough, huh? You know what time it is, James Jean, huh? Thomas Harvey, all the different aliases that y'all have used traveling back and forth through time. It's time for you to Hispanic, huh? Panic, because God is on the way, huh? Your plans you got here, it ain't gonna affect everybody, because by the time Jesus get here, huh? The dead in Christ is gonna rise. What you got planned for all these children, that's not going down, not on God's watch. It's said, it's promised. He promised right here in 7:11. Hosea, Hosea 11. Hosea 11 says, he says, first he talks about the Israel that he don't have no forgiveness to and about. And then he talks about the Israel of Judah right here in Hosea. And they're saying, because obviously the ones before, they're not going to turn back. They're not going to ask for forgiveness. They're not going to change their ways. They're not going to be stopped trying to do the things that they got written here in Federal Register. They're going to go through with their plans. Israel right now has pulled out from it a whole pile of stuff going on that's written here in Federal Register that is specifically to the point in Revelation. Israel pulling out, they separating, and they're separating as a team, Gog and Magog, huh? And then going out and doing sweeps throughout the war to make people patients instead of persons. They've upgraded the system. The chip makes you a patient and not a person. A person under the funds of the Federal Trade Act would keep the dollar just what it is, but they have transitioned and they have to put the money on your head as a chip. And that's enough of that. I don't want to talk about it no more. Greater light. Greater light. It's time for me to go, and I'm not going to pray, get off here and tell you I'm going to pray. I'm going to keep reading Hosea 11. I'm going to keep reading Hosea 11, the promise, especially this part right here. One more time. Let me close out with that. For the people shall walk after the Lord. I shall roar as a lion at their enemies. And my people shall return trembling from the west. Like a flock of birds, they will come from Egypt, like doves flying from Assyria. And I will bring them home again. It is a promise from the Lord. Israel surrounds me with the lies and deceit. But Judah, hail, hail, Lion of Judah, still trust in God and his faithful to the Holy One. Greater light.
Look what he's done for you, when he could have given up from the beginning of time now. Look what he's done for you, he protected every God that you can stand in with time. Look what he's done for you, for me, for you, for us, until the ending of time. Look what he's done, if you can see the choose the signs of the times. Look what he's done, we're so reckless and so careless with his loving expectations. We've abandoned moral principles to indulge abomination. Light and love is all it takes to earn the code of our more. The arm extension, our moral. The heart protects the love intention. Love atop the lava. Oh, can you see the grace, the mercy that he's shown? He took our sins and made them his own. Oh, the price that he paid, the love that he's shown. He took the darkness and turned it to gold. Look what he's done, one. Look what he's done, one. Look what he's done for you, for me, for us, till the ending of time. Yeah. Look what he's done, one. Look what he's done, one. Look what he's done, look what he's done. Oh, look what he's done. Oh. When we were lost, he found us in our brokenness. He paid the price so we could find forgiveness. In our darkness, he brought us to the light. With every sin, he was there to make it right. Oh, yeah. Look what he's done. Look what he's won. Look what he's done for you, for me, for us, till the ending of time. What he's done, look what he's won, look what he's done for us. Bums who couldn't even pay him enough, through the thunder and storm that began through the air. Look what he's done for you, when he could have given up from the beginning of time.